I believe that XCN could be such a total game changer during this bull run. And I don't only just think that way because I could very well see it go into the price of $1 during this bull run, even though that's not financial advice. But another more important reason, in my opinion, is because if we take a look at Onyx, they have big things planned. Now, what do I mean by this? If you take a look at, again, of course, we all know that when it comes to Goliath, this is the thing that people are most excited about when it comes to Onyx, which is allegedly going to be this very amazing layer 1 blockchain for the world of finance. However, I think sometimes people just don't understand the magnitude of something like this, because if we take a look at the article that they posted not too long ago, it even says that one of the most defining features of the Onyx Goliath project is its commitment to achieving transaction speeds comparable to or exceeding those of existing financial networks like Visa. And of course, we all know Visa, right? If we have like a credit card or whatever, I mean, we'll see that sometimes it has Visa. So this is really massive. Now, not to mention, keep in mind, right, currently Visa processes around 24,000 transactions per second. I mean, just let that sink in. So when you take a look at something like Onyx, take a look at the grand vision that they have. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to exceed, Visa in terms of adoption or anything like that, because that's kind of impossible, really, in the short term or maybe even the long term, in my opinion. But even besides that, it's the thought that counts. It doesn't necessarily mean that, again, Goliath is going to be this dominating force in the, financial sector. That's not going to happen in the next couple of years, but still, stuff like this is actually golden, in my opinion, especially during a fully fledged bull run. Now, this news right here, I think would have been like 50 times more hype if, let's say, the price of XCN wasn't going down along with a bunch of other altcoins and also Bitcoin. At least that's the way to take a look at it, because take a look at how much hype XCN got before all this stuff really came to light and before all this stuff really gained the attention it has as of right now. XCN still did that amazing, again, not too long ago. So imagine once the space picks up again, and yet we see stuff like this and people talk about this is hyped up, this is really going to just create this snowball effect where really XCN just has a very legendary bull run and going to the price of $1, that really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Now, people may be thinking, okay, people don't care about this, but again, people love the narrative, they love the story, they love something, that is trying to achieve greatness, right? And when it comes to Onyx, they do have that. And some people may think that this is too grand of a vision because they're like, oh man, they're trying to do this right now. They're aiming to launch the mainnet next year. They're aiming to launch the testnet in Q3 of this year. They think that Onyx is trying to do too much. But again, stuff like this is really beneficial during a fully fledged bull run. It may not showcase it as of right now, but again, really, when the market picks up again, in my opinion, this could be really something special. It's like this, for instance, right? When we see an exchange, list like a cryptocurrency, and let's say this cryptocurrency is listed in a bunch of major exchanges. Now, if let's say the space is going down, or let's say it's like a bear market, it can't necessarily translate to the price being the best, or should I say performing the best in terms of percentage increase, at least at that moment in time, right? But during a fully fledged bull run, we see how this works. Like, for instance, we saw how Dogecoin and Shiba, for quite a while, especially before the 2021 bull run, it wasn't like it was the most exciting project of all time, right? However, of course, because it was listed in a bunch of major exchanges, when the market really kicked off into fifth gear, once that bull run was in fully fifth gear again, we saw the results of what that could be. It's like, for instance, someone who's training to play basketball, right? Once they step on the court, that's when all of the practice, all of the hours spent working out and whatever, that's when that really pays off, right? But then during that time, it may not really directly translate to, results. But then in due time, it did, right? At least, like, for instance, you take a look at Kobe Bryant. All the training he did was showcased when he was playing those championship games and those basketball games. So the way to take a look at when it comes to Onyx, it's no different, really. I mean, they're doing this stuff as of right now. Now, granted, again, some people may think it's not the best timing, but I think it's perfect timing because they're setting the groundwork for a good narrative for when the bull run really picks off in a massive way and has a major comeback, in my opinion. Now, they may have not done it intentionally, who knows? But in my opinion, it's good timing nonetheless. Let's say if they did this, like, not too long ago, right? When XCN was having that good pump, maybe it would have made like XCN pump like, 30 or 40% more, who knows, right? But then, in my opinion, it's better waiting right now because the reason is now people have time to study about this. Now people understand that, hey, XCN did that before this. Imagine what it could do during a fully fledged bull run, and then people actually know about this, right? So then it's actually much better, kind of having this stuff anticipated when the price is going down. So then that way people can actually study it and then when the price goes back up again, people are going to, then they're going to pay more attention to something like this, right? In the sense that, wow, this could be something special. Again, this, if anything, showcases that, in my opinion, indirectly, that, hey, XCN was able to do amazing without this type of stuff. Imagine what it could do in the future. This is a big thumbs up for me. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to XCN reaching the price of $1, I get it, right? Sometimes people think it's a little bit impossible. They think it's a little bit unrealistic. Well, in my opinion, I don't really think so, because we have to take a look at the market leader when it comes to this space. Now, what is the space that Onyx is focused on? Global trade and finance and the payments market. Now, the number one leader, in my opinion, currently is going to be XRP, aka Ripple, when it comes to this space, at least, right? I'm not saying it's the best project of all time, but I'm just saying within this space. Now, if you take a look at it, XRP has a market cap that is well beyond $100 billion. So if you take a look at something like XRP, being able to achieve that even as of right now, we're not in a fully fledged bull run. I think we can all agree that, right? If it's able to do that right now, imagine what XRP could reach in the future. And if anything, XCN go to the price of $1 and having a market cap, considering current circulating supply of around 32.5 billion, that's kind of peanuts even compared to XRP currently when the market isn't performing the best. So I don't think this is an unrealistic market cap, if anything, in my opinion. And keep in mind, $1 is around a 73x from here. So it's still pretty good, in my opinion. I mean, some people may think it's bad, but yeah, I just don't think so. I mean, of course, it's not a micro cap that could do like a 1000x or whatever. But still, I like stuff like this because, in my opinion, there's going to have to be, these solid projects that are going to be alternatives to XRP and XLM. It's only fair to assume that when a market is expected to be worth, right, up to $5 trillion by 2028, according to Bordeaux Intelligence, which the global trade and finance market is. When a project is focused on a market like that, and also currently the payments market is valued at over $2 trillion. Again, when markets are that massive, there's just not only going to be two players, in my opinion, there's going to be other alternatives. And XCN has the opportunity to showcase what it's capable of, especially once the market picks up again. Now, I get it. The main competition as of right now when it comes to XCN is XDC. It's not XRP or XLM, in my opinion. They're not really competitors when it comes to XCN because they're always going to be massive, right? But then something that XCN could kind of compete against, in my opinion, is XDC. XDC is very similar to, Onyx in nature. But in my opinion, they're kind of competing for the third place. But it doesn't really matter who goes on top or who wins, I would say, because either or, they're fighting for third place or fourth place. It's still very amazing, right? So the way you take a look at it is that, yes, XCN does have, some competition, but you know what? It has the opportunity to become something special. Tier 1, in my opinion, within this space is going to be XRP, XLM. Tier 2 could either be, XDC, something like XCN. Tier 3 is going to be like something like Zebic or XPR. But again, these are the premier projects here, and XCN has the opportunity to really showcase what it's capable of. And keep in mind, when there's over 600 million crypto owners as of right now, according to Crypto.com research, I really do still believe in this bull run. I think the race is far from over, and I think as April, May, June, July comes along, the market could be really different. As of right now, things are going down. Stocks, they're also not doing the best, right? But I think that eventually when things do turn around, especially when it comes to the world of cryptos, let's say near the end of this year, this could be a totally different story. And again, there's no exactly telling as to when the date will be, but we've seen historical data. Historical data does indicate that usually altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. The last Bitcoin halving event happened in April of last year, so 18 months from then is around October this year, which is why I'm paying attention to near the end of this year, and I'm not going to give up. Granted, this is not a surefire date, but I'm going to pay attention nonetheless because historically this has been the case. I can't look into the future, right? I can only look into the past. So again, I'm going to pay attention to that. And XCN at the price of $1, that's not going to surprise me whatsoever. I'm still going to be dollar cost averaging, acquiring, holding, and just waiting because I believe in the future of XCN. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. Greatly appreciated. It's only the captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.